Morning opens like a new doorway, yet many people step into the day with heavy shoulders. The moment the eyes open, the mind turns back to yesterday's storms. Words left unsaid, pressures left unfinished, worries that have not yet found an answer. They rush in so quickly that we have not even felt the first breath of the new day. The body is awake, but the mind is still trapped in the past. There are mornings when we carry an entire table of old worries with us, as if they deserve a seat and a place in today. And then we wonder why we feel tired before doing anything, why our hearts feel heavy before we have gone anywhere. It is not because the new day is too difficult, but because the mind has never truly rested. Yet in the teachings of the Buddha, morning is not meant to be a continuation of yesterday's exhaustion. Morning is a gentle space where the mind can be renewed. A clean mind is not an empty mind without thoughts or feelings. A clean mind is an open mind, a mind with room to breathe, to see clearly, to begin again without being dragged by old residues. If you are listening to these words in the morning, allow yourself to slow down just a little. Listen softly. This is an invitation for you to begin the day with awareness, with compassion toward yourself, and with 10 simple lessons to help you cleanse your mind each morning. Lesson 1. Open the day with an unburdened heart. Morning always opens like a quiet doorway before the world begins to call your name. It is a rare moment when nothing is demanded of you and nothing is pushing you forward. Yet many people walk through this doorway with their hands already full. Worries from yesterday, conversations left unfinished, emotions that were never soothed. All of it follows us into the morning as if it refuses to stay behind. In the teachings of the Buddha, the greatest burden is not what has happened, but the mind's attachment to what has already passed. The past is like a shadow. It was once real, it once existed, but it is no longer alive. That shadow only continues to follow when we turn back and hold on to it. Each morning, the mind unconsciously pulls these old shadows into the present, replaying familiar emotions, repeating familiar stories, and weighing itself down before the new day has truly begun. Try to imagine your mind as a vast open sky. The emotions from yesterday are only clouds drifting across that sky. Some are light, some are dark, some are heavy with rain. You do not need to chase them away. You do not need to hold on to them. Simply allow them to move on with the natural rhythm of the wind. When you stop grasping, the sky naturally becomes clearer. Letting go is not avoidance or denial. Letting go is inner maturity. It is the ability to recognize that you do not need to wake up carrying hours that have already passed. Each morning, gently ask yourself one simple question. Is there something from yesterday that I am still carrying, even though it no longer nourishes me? Is there an emotion I am holding on to out of habit rather than truth? Then softly whisper to yourself as the day begins. Yesterday has closed. Today I allow my mind to be lighter. I release what no longer lives in the present. And in this letting go, I am truly here for this morning. Lesson 2. Honor the first moments of your morning. The first moments of the morning carry a very special quality. When you first awaken, the mind is still soft, still open, not yet stretched by roles, responsibilities, or expectations. In Buddhist teachings, this is a rare time when the mind is most receptive, like soil that has just been watered and is ready to receive the first seeds that fall. How you treat these few minutes quietly determines the direction of your entire day. Yet many people lose this sacred moment almost immediately. As soon as the eyes open, the hand reaches for the phone. The screen lights up. Messages, notifications, news, and outside demands rush in before you even notice that you are breathing. The mind has not yet returned to itself and has already been taken over by the world. When the day begins this way, you are not truly living the day, you are only reacting to what pulls you along. The Buddha taught that all experience begins in the mind. The first thoughts of the day are like seeds being planted. A seed of hurry grows into a tense day. a seed of worry spreads into unease. But when the first seed is awareness and gentleness, the entire inner garden takes on a different tone. You do not need to do anything grand. You only need to choose the first thing with intention. Before touching your phone, give yourself a moment of silence. Place one hand over your chest and feel your heartbeat. Breathe in slowly and breathe out fully. If possible, drink a glass of water in silence and feel the coolness move through your body. This moment is not empty, it nourishes you. It helps the mind recognize that it is safe here in this morning. Then gently say one simple sentence to yourself. Today, I choose to begin with peace. I allow myself to slow down before stepping into the world. Small rituals like these create a healthy boundary between you and the noise outside. When you honor your morning will guide your mind through the day with greater steadiness and clarity. Lesson 3. Return to the present moment. After learning how to honor the first moments of the morning, the next lesson brings us back to something essential in the teachings of the Buddha. Returning to the present moment. The human mind has a very natural habit of wandering. It runs back to old memories, to things that have already happened. It leaps forward into the future with assumptions, worries, and stories that have not yet taken place. When the mind keeps leaving like this, our inner space slowly becomes crowded, noisy, and tired. A wandering mind is a mind filled with thoughts. Imagine your mind as a still pond in the early morning. Each thought that appears is like a small ripple on the surface. If you rush after every ripple, the water will never be calm. But if you remain still and simply observe, the ripples fade on their own. Stillness does not need to be created. It already exists beneath the constant movement of the mind. So each morning, before the new day pulls you into its familiar rhythm, practice returning. Return to the breath. You do not need to control or change it. Simply know that you are breathing in and breathing out. Feel the air entering your body. Feel the release as you breathe out. This gentle attention is already beginning to cleanse the tangled thoughts. During this time, other thoughts will certainly appear. Things you need to do, worries that remain unresolved, old memories that suddenly return. Instead of resisting them, look at them with softness. Imagine each thought as a leaf floating on a stream. You see it, but you do not jump into the water to grab it. You allow the leaf to continue drifting while you stay on the bank in awareness. Gently ask yourself, where's my mind right now in this moment? Is this thought truly necessary for this morning? Is it bringing peace or taking peace away? Simply asking these questions is enough to stop being unconsciously carried away. The Buddha taught that when the mind is truly in the present, worry has no place to stand. A mind rooted in this moment cannot at the same time be fearful of what has not yet happened. Returning to the present does not remove responsibilities or challenges, but it dissolves the mental fog that makes everything feel heavier than it needs to be. Each morning, when you return to the breath, to the body, to the space that is here, you are cleansing your mind through awareness. And from that awareness, a new day begins lighter, clearer, and more at ease. Lesson 4. Welcome impermanence. When the mind has begun to settle in the present, a deeper layer of clearing comes into view. This is how we relate to change. In the teachings of the Buddha, impermanence is not something strange or abstract. It is the nature of all living things. Every emotion is in motion. Every circumstance is changing. Every moment is passing and becoming something else. Nothing stands still in the way the mind often wishes it would. What exhausts us is not change itself, but our resistance to change. We want things to remain the same. We want pleasant feelings to last. We want familiar conditions to stay intact. We want to remain yesterday's version of ourselves, even as life moves into a new day. This holding on creates mental debris. It accumulates as tension, irritation, and fear, even when the morning has barely begun. Notice what your mind is clinging to each morning. It may be a discomfort in the body, It may be worry about health not being what it once was. It may be a sense of emptiness as children grow up and move away. It may be the loss of a role you once knew well. These changes are not wrong. They are simply happening. When you resist them, the mind hardens. When you allow them to exist, the mind begins to soften. Each morning, gently remind yourself with a simple sentence. Today will not be the same as yesterday, and that is okay. I allow life to move. I do not need to control everything to be safe. Take a deep breath and release whatever is gripping too tightly. Ask yourself honestly, is there something that is changing that I am still trying to fight? If I accepted this change instead of struggling against it, how much lighter would my mind feel? Questions like these loosen invisible knots within the heart. When you accept impermanence, you're clearing resistance at its root. Softness returns. The breath becomes easier, and you begin to step into the new day with a heart that knows how to move with life, rather than becoming exhausted by fighting it. Lesson 5. Gratitude for the ordinary. When the mind is less pulled by the past and less rigid in the face of change, a very gentle form of cleansing begins to appear. This is gratitude. Many of our mornings start with a familiar loop. As soon as we wake up, the mind scans for what is missing, what still needs to be done, what worries are waiting ahead. Before leaving the bed, the inner space is already filled with pressure. The new day then begins from a sense of lack rather than a sense of enough. In the teachings of the Buddha, gratitude is not about painting life in brighter colors or pretending that everything is fine. Gratitude is a way of meeting reality with honesty and softness. When gratitude arises, the stress loop is naturally interrupted. The mind no longer fixates only on what is wrong, what is unfinished, or what might be lost. It turns back to recognize what is supporting it in this very moment. The quiet miracle is that gratitude does not require anything extraordinary. It begins with the most ordinary things we often overlook. The breath still moving steadily in and out. The body still able to sit up. A familiar bed. Morning light slipping through the window. The rare stillness before the world fully wakes. A new day given to you without conditions. These are not small things. They are the foundation of life, only hidden by how familiar they have become. Each morning, take a brief moment to notice what is present. There is no need for a long list, just sincerity. It might be the warmth of a cup in your hands. It might be a familiar sound in the house. It might simply be that you are still here, still able to feel, still given another chance to live one more day. As the mind learns to attend to these things, heaviness slowly dissolves. You may softly whisper a simple sentence to yourself. I am grateful for this breath. I am grateful for this morning. I am grateful for the ordinary things that keep me standing. These words are not meant to convince the mind, but to remind it of what is already true. Try a small practice. Look around your space and name 3 simple things you genuinely appreciate. It takes only 10 seconds. In that moment, the mind shifts from lack to enough, from tightness to softness. And when the morning begins with gratitude, the day often unfolds with more peace, more lightness, and less comparison. Lesson 6. Set a compassionate intention. When the mind has been somewhat cleared of old burdens, resistance, and the feeling of lack, the morning enters a new stage. This is the moment not only to cleanse the mind, but also to give it direction. In the teachings of the Buddha, this is called setting an intention. An intention is different from a goal. A goal speaks about the outcome you want to achieve. An intention speaks about how you choose to be present throughout the journey of the day. An intention is like a small lantern lit from within. It does not force the path to be straight or easy. It simply illuminates each step as you walk. When the day becomes busy, when situations do not unfold as expected, that lantern is still there, reminding you of the state you are choosing to live from. Without an intention, the mind is easily pulled along by old habits, familiar reactions, and unseen emotions. Notice how you usually begin your day, perhaps with hurry, perhaps with tension, perhaps with self-blame over what has not yet been done. These states are not because you are wrong, but because the mind has not been guided. When you set a compassionate intention, you are directly touching the root of behavior. The state of the mind guides speech. Speech guides action, and action shapes the experience of the day. An intention does not need to sound lofty or poetic. It only needs to be honest. Each morning, you can gently ask yourself, what energy do I want to bring into my life today? Do I want to meet others with patience or with haste? Do I want to listen more or react more? How do I want to treat myself when I make mistakes or feel tired? On some days, your intention may be very simple. Today, I choose to slow down. Today, I choose to speak less and listen more. Today, I choose not to hurt myself with familiar self-criticism. Compassion is not only for others. Compassion begins with how you treat yourself in your most difficult moments. When you place such an intention in the morning, you do not need to remember it all day. It is enough to know that it is there, like a small flame quietly burning. When the mind becomes tangled, you can return and ask yourself, am I moving away from my intention? That single question is often enough to bring you back. Each morning, try choosing one word for the day. Peace, gentleness, acceptance, openness. Let that word become your compass. When the mind has direction, it wanders less. And when the mind is guided by compassion, the day often unfolds with fewer conflicts, deeper understanding, and more ease. Lesson 7. Simplify your first actions. After setting a compassionate intention for the new day, the next lesson brings us back to something very concrete and very human. The first actions of the morning. In the teachings of the Buddha, body and mind are not separate. When actions are scattered, the mind becomes scattered. When actions are simple, the mind has a chance to settle. Many people begin the day in chaos without realizing it, doing many things at once, thinking about too many problems to solve, feeling pulled in every direction before even leaving the room. Morning chaos does not come from big tasks. It comes from the mind being divided too early, checking many things as soon as you wake up, moving while thinking about the next thing before finishing the one in front of you. When the morning begins like this, the mind has no anchor. It is constantly distracted, and the day unfolds in a state of chasing rather than consciously living. The Buddha taught that simplicity nourishes awareness. Each morning, instead of doing many things, choose one simple action and do it fully. Just one thing. It might be making the bed slowly. It might be drinking water and feeling each sip. It might be opening the window and standing still for a few seconds to breathe in the morning air. When you do one thing with full presence, the mind begins to gather. It is no longer torn apart by overlapping thoughts. Imagine the morning as a river just beginning to form. The first actions are like stones placed in the riverbed. If you throw stones chaotically, the current crashes and swirls. If you place each stone gently, the water flows smoothly and with direction. Your day is the same. The first actions quietly shape the rhythm of the hours that follow. Each morning, ask yourself one simple question. Which action right now could help my mind feel less rushed? What can I do to support myself before the world asks anything of me? This action does not need to be efficient or impressive. It only needs to be slow, clear, and present. When you begin the day with simplicity, the mind naturally becomes more ordered, and from that order, a quiet sense of peace emerges, enough to carry you through the entire day. Lesson 8. Release the ego story. When the morning has become less rushed, less tangled, and the mind begins to find a clearer direction, there is still a very subtle layer that needs to be recognized. This is the story of the ego. In the teachings of the Buddha, the ego is not an enemy, but it is often the first voice to speak. The moment you wake up, it begins telling stories. I am not good enough. I am falling behind others. I need to try harder. I am not allowed to make mistakes. These sentences sound so familiar that we often mistake them for truth. The ego wants to define you before the new day truly begins. It repeats old shortcomings. It creates new fears. It pushes you to prove something to the world or to yourself. When these stories go unnoticed, they quietly steer your emotions, your words, and your actions throughout the entire day. And you end up living in tension without knowing why. Morning is the ideal time to see the ego while it is still small and has not gathered much strength. You do not need to fight it. You do not need to fix it or remove it. What the Buddha points to is awareness. Simply seeing clearly. When a thought arises, pause for a moment and look at it as a phenomenon in the mind. Ask yourself calmly, is this thought coming from fear or from truth? Is this story helping me live more lightly? Do I need to carry it into today? Many people carry a habit of self-blame deep inside. They wake up already feeling wrong, lacking, not enough. Such people are often very hardworking, but also very tired. When you recognize the voice of the ego, you begin to create a healthy distance. You are no longer the story itself. You are the one listening to the story. Just that moment of recognition is enough for the weight to lessen. The mind becomes lighter. The chest softens. The breath deepens. You do not need to replace the old story with a more positive one. You only need to stop identifying with it. Each morning, allow the ego's stories to appear and pass without holding on. When the ego is no longer at the wheel, you step into the new day with more freedom, more authenticity, and less self-harm. Lesson 9. Gentle self-observation. After recognizing and releasing some of the ego's stories, the mind begins to have more space. The next lesson does not ask you to change or fix anything. It simply invites you to observe. In the teachings of the Buddha, observing does not mean becoming what is observed. When you notice a thought, you are not that thought. When you recognize an emotion, you are not identified with that emotion. This gentle distinction creates a natural cleansing of the mind. Many people wake up and immediately become whatever is happening in their minds. A worrying thought appears and they become the worrier. A feeling of sadness appears and they become the sad one. But when you simply observe, you step back a little. You see the mind in motion instead of being swept into it. In that small step back, a sense of lightness begins to form. Try spending a few minutes in the morning sitting quietly and listening inwardly. No judging, no analyzing, just noticing. Is your mind fast or slow right now? Are your emotions heavy or light? Is there tension somewhere in the body? This kind of observation is not cold or distant. It is deeply compassionate. It is like the way you look at someone you love who is tired. You do not push them to be different. You simply stay with them. Imagine thoughts as clouds drifting across the sky. Emotions as waves rising and falling on the surface of the sea. You do not need to control the clouds. You do not need to stop the waves. You only need to know that clouds will dissolve and waves will settle. When you observe with softness, the inner movements complete their own cycle. Each morning, ask yourself one very gentle question. What is alive in me right now? Can I allow it to be here without trying to fix it? The moment you ask this, the mind begins to clear. Awareness is the most natural cleanser. No effort is required. No struggle is needed. The more you observe, the less you carry with you. And when you carry less, you live with more freedom in each moment of the new day. Lesson 10. Invite stillness first. After learning how to observe the mind with gentleness, the final lesson brings us back to the deepest foundation of the morning: stillness. In the teachings of the Buddha, stillness is not an escape from life, nor is it an empty void. Stillness is where energy gathers. It is the space where the mind restores itself before stepping into the world. How you begin the morning, with stillness or with noise, leaves an imprint that lasts throughout the day. Many of our mornings begin with sound, noise from devices, schedules forming in the mind, questions waiting to be answered, tasks that need to be completed. When stimulation comes first, the mind becomes reactive. It is fragmented. It is always chasing. But when stillness comes first, the mind has time to settle. It enters the new day with intention rather than defensiveness. Try beginning the morning differently. Before speaking, before picking up your phone, before allowing the world to touch you, invite stillness first. Sit at the edge of the bed. Place both feet on the floor. Keep the spine upright but relaxed. Breathe in slowly and breathe out deeply. There is nothing else you need to do. Simply be present. 60 seconds like this is enough to shift your entire inner state. In that quiet moment, the breath naturally deepens. Thoughts slow down. Attention becomes clear. Stillness cleanses the mind by creating space. It is like a gentle boundary protecting your inner world. When you allow stillness to arrive first, the world cannot rush in forcefully. You choose when to open the door and how wide to open it. Gently ask yourself, what does my mind need before the world begins speaking to me? Can I offer myself 1 minute of quiet before giving my attention away? When you ask these questions each morning, you are resetting the priorities of your inner life. Beginning the day with stillness does not make you slower. It makes you steadier. Your reactions soften. Your decisions become clearer. When stillness is the first companion of the morning, you carry that peace everywhere you go. And no matter how noisy the day becomes, there remains a space within you that is undisturbed. Morning is not only the beginning of a day, but the place where you choose how to live with yourself. Peace is not something you wait for when everything is finally settled. It is something created through very small choices, made very early with awareness. These 10 lessons are not meant to be remembered as knowledge, but practiced as a way of returning. If you felt even a little lightness, a little clarity in your mind while listening, continue walking with this channel. More simple practices are waiting for you in the mornings to come.